Hello guys, welcome to the channel. So in this video, we're going to talk about the mistakes that I made on building my house that I'm living in right now. I'm sharing this with you so that you don't make the same mistakes, so you can get a lesson without a scar. So let's dive into it. Well, as you guys could see, this is quite a big house for a 25-year-old. I think I was 25 at the time when I started planning on trying to build this house. And I was not earning the amount of money that I need to build this house, first of all. So that was the first error. Why am I saying that's an error? There is nothing wrong with having a big goal and trying to build something great for yourself. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. But I was coming to Ghana for a reason. And the reason is I had an opportunity to come down here and create gyms. But I wanted to secure something for myself, so I have somewhere to put my head in case all else fails. Because at the time, I didn't have the money to build a gym on my own. I was dependent on investors. But I wasn't going to throw my life away as somebody who just graduated with a master's degree in accounting, working for KPMG, the big four accounting firm, throwing it all away to come to Ghana, right? We got to take risk in life. But I was going to take that risk on my own term, and that means building a house. Now, the house that I picked to build, which is this very house that I live in, I had no business picking that house. Why? Because I did not have the money to build this type of house. I could have easily built a very nice house for $80,000, like this house that you see on the screen, with design and everything. For less than $80,000, I could have built something nice. 3-bedroom, 2.5 bedroom, right? That means a 2-bedroom with a boys' quarters or something small for caretakers. I was okay with that because I am married, but I had no kids at the time when I was planning this. So I had no business wanting to build this house. Now, luckily, everything worked out for me. The divine came to help me out. I got lucky. I knew what I was doing in the stock market, but I think that, I got lucky as well. It's the right time and all that. If it wasn't for that, it would have been very stupid looking backwards, trying to build this house that cost so much. I made a whole video about how much I spent on this house, including the solar panels I put on, the furnishing and all that. And we were looking upwards of $300,000. As a 26, 25, 25, I started construction by the age of 26. We finished when I was 27. 2021, I moved into the house. Now, let's get a couple of things straight. The goal of me coming to Ghana was to come and pursue my dream. And my ego, right? I wasn't thinking like that, at the time. I mean, I believed that I could do it by, saving hard, going hard. And like 3 years, I was going to be able to do what I did by going hard. If the stock market didn't come to save me, I ended up building a house in a year and a half, right? I was going to do this with my wife and get it completed. But the stock market saved me miraculously. And I was able to do this in a year and a half. And, after grinding it out for 6 months, it wasn't a joke, but I was able to get the money easily to do it. But luck had a lot to do with it. Let's look at a scenario where I didn't get lucky in the stock market. I'm not saying that I just went and gambled. I absolutely knew what I was doing. But the return that I had with the money that I went in with is too astronomical. It's not the norm. You are not going to trade to make that amount of money on a regular basis. So I attribute some of it to luck. Plus, luck meeting somebody who is a little bit experienced at the right time, at the right place, at the right time. So I did not come a quote according to my size when I was thinking of building this house. Luckily, it worked out for me, but it might not work out for you. So let's look at how I could have done this different. I wanted to come down here and jump on the opportunity of creating gyms. I had investors waiting to back me, though they backed out. They didn't back out because anything went wrong. It's just circumstances, COVID, whole bunch of stuff. And by the time I came to Ghana, I actually had the money to do my own thing. I was leaving my 9 to 5 and coming to Ghana to what? Sort of a problem. Well, this was around 2018 when this planning of moving to Ghana came into the picture. So I started planning on this in 2018. And then 2019 is when I actually started taking action towards building this house. Now, luckily, I bought this land in 2016 when I got out of the Navy, like early January 2016, because my father's friend advised me that I am from Ghana. At this time, I thought you only come to Ghana when you are retired, ready to die. You come here, you spend a few years, and then bye-bye, they bury you on your motherland. That was the blueprint. That's the idea. I absolutely didn't know anybody who had the opportunity to live in America and living all of that and coming down here in Ghana to live their life. I know people were doing it. It was not common. I didn't know anybody that has done it. I haven't seen anything regarding somebody that's done it until the idea of me moving to Ghana came into my awareness. That's when I started seeing, a lot of YouTubers, that had moved from China, Australia, and all that stuff to Ghana who were around my age, or maybe 2, 3 years older than my age. Now, I could have done this a little bit differently because when I started this house, I had about $16,000 to my name at the time in my savings account, right? And that's after having bought a car for somebody to do Uber. I started my pineapple farm business and I was ready to roll. Now I was earning multiple streams of income. I could, put together 5K, 5 to 7K a month to contribute to what? This house. Now I'm a voracious, saver. I save and I don't spend much. In New York, I was on a grind. So I could have done this if it was $70,000. It was going to be a breeze. Within a year and a half, that house was going to be standing and I could have easily moved in. Plus, if I wanted to stay for an additional year, I could save money that I could use for my own thing. But instead, I wanted to build this massive house. Now, a lot of people, a lot of you guys, want to move to Ghana, you want to move to Africa. You have the idea, you have a plan, you have a goal that you want to accomplish. That is more important than your ego trying to build something so big to begin with, because you might not have the money. Now, if you are rich, go for it. Because when I made the money in the stock market, building this house became not a burden at all. It became easy. So after making the money, then yes, I could have afforded this house and I did the right thing. But when I started out, I had no business wanting to build this house, because if I wasn't able to build this house, look at me now. I'm making a lot of impact. I'm selling land to a lot of people who would have otherwise, had a lot of issues with land. I'm helping people build. I'm actually making a real impact. What I'm doing down here is really beneficial to a lot of people. Now, if I wasn't able to complete this house, I would have still been in America, and all these business opportunities that I am on right now, again, this is if things did not go my way in the stock market. I could have still been in America around this time. You never know, struggling to finish this house. Now, a lot of us find ourselves in that shoes where we put up that massive house and build it for the next 10 to 20 years. All that money is what? Locked up. Well, I don't look at your house as an investment. It is something that, of course, going to appreciate in value. But usually, like where I live right now, the house I live in is worth easily $450,000. And I don't see a lot of people that will want to put that money into where I live right now. But it's tailored to me. Okay, I don't plan on selling that house that I live in, so it is not an investment. It's a lifestyle choice. Okay, your house, for the most part, is a lifestyle choice. Now, while you are pouring a lot of money in, so let's look at my situation. I put $200,000 in. Let's say I get stuck. I'm struggling for the next 5 to 7 years trying to finish it. Now, that $200,000 is locked up in this house. You are not living in it, so you are paying rent elsewhere. Okay. Now, I was lucky to build this in a year and a half. I moved in, completely eliminated rent. So that was good for me. The goal of building this house is to eliminate your rent so that you can use that money for something bigger. It's okay. Okay. So, okay to start small. Now, another thing that we can also look at is if I would have built a house that's worth $80,000, right, on this property, this area has developed quite nice. $80,000, $90,000, $100,000, let's say it would have appreciated in value. $120,000, $130,000. I want to offload it. What do I mean by that? I want to sell that house and move on. Now, it's much easier to sell such a house in an area like this. A lot of people can afford $120,000, $80,000, $90,000 house, but not $450,000. They probably would be at Airport Residential or East Legon or something. They can find something for around that price. So why would they come to my area that's now developing, right? It's me who had this vision, and I'm comfortable with that. And the house is a little bit tailored to my taste. So your house investment might not be an investment, but it's a lifestyle choice, and you have to understand that. I am saying all of this to say that this rush that you see on the screen, this rush that is, out here in Ghana, getting busy, doing things, impacting lives, building houses for people, selling land, educating you guys on the business side of things in Ghana, doing consultation, feeling fulfilled, love what I do, because it is absolutely fulfilling to save somebody who's had a lot of issues with regards to real estate in Ghana, come to me, and then having been able to accomplish something and got their house. Like this guy who, contacted me about 8 months ago and sold him land and built for him from start to finish, as you guys could see on the screen. It is quite fulfilling to do something like that. We become friends, we become family. A lot of my clients, we are literally like family after saving them from all the headache, and it's quite fulfilling. But my ego could have blocked this. What do I mean by that? I could have never finished this house. I will still be building the house by now if I wasn't, lucky in the stock market. I projected that I was going to save and push everything to this house, but I didn't have to do all of that. Because if it wasn't for the stock market, I would have finished the house and come down here without any money. Yes, I have some residual income coming in, but don't you want to build something modest for yourself and have something in your pockets when you come? You can start something. Like the situation that happened to me, although I did not plan that way. I was lucky, like I said. I came down here with money. I was able to, acquire a car and buy that commercial property, which is a car wash I actually ended up going to court for 2 years, but it's operational now and it's giving me an additional residual income. And I've been able to move on to other things like creating this YouTube channel, having two real estate companies, construction and selling of land. And the land side of things is extremely good. So is construction, very fulfilling, like I said, having touched hundreds and hundreds of people, who now have properties, building on them, using me to build and all that. It's quite remarkable. So the message of the day is, if you have the urge to move to Ghana or Africa, you are not balling. It is okay to start small. It's okay to build a $150,000 house. It's okay to build a $120,000 house. It's okay to build a $80,000 house as your starting point so that you can come down here and get your ball rolling, because the idea that you have and what you want to do here could be so massive. So don't let your ego get in the way. You can build something so beautiful like what you see on the screen, like what this guy that I just finished this house for, did. It's absolutely about less than $80,000. You can get your land in a developing area and build something like that. You will live very peacefully. Now, if you have a big family, it's understandable, but even that, you can still also build something like a 4 bedroom. If it's a single level, depend on design, you can have a budget of $100,000 and still build something very nice for yourself around that price, right? If the rooms are not so big, the rooms are big, you are looking about 130. For a single level, you can have something very nice and beautiful for yourself. So I'm saying all of this, right, in a nutshell, is do not let your ego hold you back from accomplishing your goal and your dreams because you want to build something so big before you move. I did that and it worked out for me. And I think luck has a lot to do with it. How many people are going to jump in the stock market and make $1 million plus in a year? It's not going to happen. So yes, I'm sharing this with you guys because I know a lot of people will be looking at me and they will be saying, hey, Rush live in this beautiful house and all that. But I made a mistake by choosing to build this house. I'm very happy that it worked out for me. I'm very grateful and happy that I live in this house and everything absolutely worked out for me. Like everything worked out perfectly. But this is like the 5% of chances that this would have worked out for me, and that's what it did. 95% on the other side of things, it wouldn't have worked out, and it would have taken me 5 to 10 years before I moved down here to do what I'm doing right now. And that's just holding me back and wasting time because my ego, right? And this will probably not be my forever house. I might move on to building something bigger, or I might move on to building something else. You just never know. So it's okay to start with a 2 bedroom. It's okay to start with a 3 bedroom. My parents have built multiple houses during their lifetime by upgrading their lifestyle and building as they go. And a lot of us know our parents, the aunties that started that way. They built a house, they were doing well at some point. They built a house elsewhere. They got rid of the other one. You could do it that way. Okay. Don't let that big house hold you back from accomplishing your goal. That's advice that I have for you guys. As far as construction in the house, you guys seen videos of it. I've done a lot of interviews. House is beautiful. I'm happy how everything turned out.